Somehow Air-Deraan returned.
That's right, after miraculously escaping the Death Star explosion this time last week, we are back to do another episode on The Bad Batch. As always, I am Freddie, and joined by Luke, as always, as well.
Yep, as always, we are both here, and we definitely did not miss an episode, no siree.
And as always, this is on Air-Deraan, which as always comes out, as always, every week we release it.
Yeah. This happens right on schedule, and not even a corrupted file will ever stop us.
Well, you might be recording it over the corrupted file, over the Audacity?
Well, I will try to make Audacity record itself.
Yeah.
So that we have that footage in at least some capacity.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the classic episode It's Always Stormy on Camino to be Camino lost.
Whoa! Which brings us to this episode of The Bad Batch. In fact, it is the season finale. And we've got probably a lot to talk about, even though, I don't know, who knows? Is this podcast 5 minutes long? You tell us down below in the comments. So we will start, as always, by relaying our Star Structure of the episode, which is our first segment of the Star Structure. It's so dumb.
It's the world's first recursive segment.
Yeah, exactly. And then following
the structure of this podcast is a fractal.
Whoa! This whole podcast is just a fractal. It just keeps on going, and it will never stop.
Yeah, not unlike the days in the classic song.
Are you thinking
that thing from Shrek? Yeah, I almost said The Believer. The days start coming and don't stop coming, and I am going to continue with this joke until it hasn't been funny for at least 5 minutes.
Talking of unfunny things, let's continue our Star Structure, because our first official segment...
Our podcast is not funny.
Yes, our first official segment of the Star Structure. The Star Structure is an unofficial segment of the Star Structure. Our first official one, though, is, of course, our Grand Admiral thoughts, which is our general thoughts, but better.
Yeah, our non-spoilery thoughts, which, if you can't tell, is a pun on Thrawn. Oddly enough, I don't know why. And we just breeze through what we thought and how we rate it on a scale that doesn't exist.
Yep.
Before we move on from our subjective opinions with no spoilers to just the pure facts, and one might say just the spoilers in the perfectly aptly named segment Crochet Granite.
It needs no introduction. In fact,
no explanation.
Saying it needs no introduction or explanation is its introduction.
It is a pretty cliche introduction, but speaking of cliches...
Whoa!
I'm trying to make a cliche Klieglarshay.
If we were ever going to go over the cliches of like a movie or something, we could call it cliches. That's so stupid.
We could call it Klieg Schmees.
Klieg Schmees. It just sounds like when Crichton's trying to say Smeghead.
But he's also talking to Queeg.
Yeah. Oh, classic. But the segment after...
We should just rebrand to a Red Dwarf podcast at this point.
We say this all the time.
Indeed.
That segment when we go over... After the Crochet Granite is the nitty gritty, when we could dive deep into the tiny depths of hell to find all of the bits and bobs from this episode of The Bad Batch, and we talk about them. Sometimes we don't talk about them. Sometimes we talk about Nicolas Cage method acting, and sometimes we talk about Star Wars. Very rarely.
The intent is though to talk about Star Wars. That's the point. Why we're here.
Yes. Following the nitty gritty is the segment, which is what's it called? We board our in Predictor cruiser and then we have in predict.
And we lay out our in predictions.
Indeed.
They are in predictions because they're just better than predictions, but they're also everything that we think, thought, or we didn't even say we think what was gonna happen in season 2, I guess, because we ran out of episodes this series.
Yeah, we've run out.
Yeah. Also, we say that it's a segment, but it happens just like whenever.
Yeah, that is the only segment that can just happen whenever.
See, it's thematically appropriate because the point of interdictor cruisers is to catch other ships by surprise and yank them out of hyperspace.
Also, we derail our conversations whenever we feel like it.
Basically, what I could do is just edit out that segment when we talk about it and put it in a random spot in the podcast.
That sounds even worse.
Yes. People are gonna think that it's an ad, but no, it's just more of the podcast, but not where it's supposed to be.
Whoa. There's some podcasts or some YouTube channels that do fake ads.
Yeah, Mr. Sunday Movies used to do that, remember?
Think so. Never really understood.
This video is brought to you by rocks.
Yeah, god damn it.
Just a couple of stones.
But you're not stoned. We are talking about our final segment, which is strange enough to be in that state. And that is, of course, I'm running out of awards.
We've ran out of awards a while ago.
Yeah.
It's the... did we say the Hugo Award yet?
Yeah, I think we saw... Have we said the Darwin Award?
Yeah, we did.
God damn it.
Because remember, we named an entire episode after it.
That's
Darwin
true.
Shrug,
Okay.
Remember? No one watched that one.
No one watched it. The Ig Nobel Prize winning segment. Light side.
Is that real?
Yes, it is real. The light side, the dark side, and the one in the middle, the Bendu.
The Bendu.
Whoa, that is...
I just hit myself in the head with a weird, tiny, off-brand Bionicle.
Whoa, bonkle. This is our final segment, which covers a good thing, a bad thing, and something that's just in the middle, the Bendu.
The Bendu. About this episode, indeed.
Yeah.
We both pick our picks for something we like, something we dislike, and something we think is notable, whether or not is good.
Yeah. Oh, talking about the Bendu very quickly, I was looking at a picture of the Bendu, and it kind of looks like Tom Baker.
I don't see it.
Okay, never mind.
He looks like if, like, an orangutan was a samurai.
And also like an antelope type thing.
Yeah, he has... Well, either he has horns or they're a part of, like, the samurai helmet. You know how they have, like, horns on them sometimes?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
a furry samurai would be something cursed.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to the day when we get to recapping Rebels, and I say that my one in the middle of the Bendu is the one in the middle of the Bendu.
Oh no, the one in the middle, the Bendu, would always be the light side though. That is the best part.
And the one in the middle of the Bendu of that episode would be the light side of the Force.
Whoa.
Which he doesn't really help them to do because he's more about the balance than
Yeah, he
anything.
tells them to fuck off. He tells them to get he tells them to get off Athlon.
Yeah, I guess.
So
Good times.
yeah.
Great series. Everyone, stop listening to on Air-Deraan and go watch Rebels right now.
That's great PR. That's our
And
tagline.
don't forget to watch Rebels Recon after every episode that it's available for.
Indeed, I watched that religiously every week.
Same.
Yeah.
I would rewatch that even though I never rewatched Rebels.
Whoa. That's our new tagline though for On Air-Deraan. Stop watching On Air-Deraan and watch Rebels. What a great tagline.
I mean, unironically, I will put it into the description.
Right, we should probably start. So, Luke, what did you think your opinion on the story was?
What did I think my opinion on the story was? Well, it was a good episode of The Bad Batch, but was it a good season ender?
Whoa.
Well-
That's a deep question.
I see what you did there, Freddie. That's sure to give you the bends.
Whoa. Yeah, we'll get on to that.
What are your opinions on this episode?
Whoa, I thought it was a good episode, had some great moments. Not too crazy about the end, though.
Yeah.
But we'll get on to that. I feel like, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was bad by any chance. I say it was good. I would say it's actually, like, of the contents of the episode, it's, like, top tier. Right?
Yeah. It feels like another situation, like with... It pains me to compare the two, but it feels, in a way, kind of like the Infestation.
I knew you were going to say that, because I was thinking that too. I feel like maybe it should have gone where Infestation was.
Yeah, which would allow for, like, more ending-y stuff to happen.
Yes.
But, like, I, on one hand, appreciate that it didn't feel like a classic season ender, that it was a little bit different.
We were also correct.
About what?
About some parts of the ending.
Oh, yeah, probably. But, if they just put, like, a 30-second scene with a certain character and something that would give you, like, some kind of a hook or some kind of a clue or something like that, that would probably salvage it, but there just wasn't really anything to go off of. It just kind of ended.
Yeah. Is this like proper... Did we call it an Obi-Wan ending before?
I don't think so.
No, I mean like Obi-Wan ending as in like flaccid ending.
We haven't used the word flaccid in a while.
Yeah, no, I think we called it that because...
Why does Obi-Wan ending mean flaccid ending?
Because when Obi-Wan dies, his cloak falls down. Yeah, it's that stupid. Amazing.
Wow.
But I do think that's kind of like what... Because, like, yeah, I do think, like, genuinely, this episode on its own is like, top-tier episode, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
But similar to Infestation... I mean, Infestation is nowhere near as good as this episode. But like Infestation, its placement in the series kind of diminishes what it has.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more willing to look past that for this episode than I am for Infestation. Or Infested, sorry.
Yeah. I definitely agree on that. I don't know. It reminds me of when Sherlock season 4 came out, and some people were convinced that its ending was not the real ending, and there was a secret episode coming out the week after.
Yeah, Apple Tree Yard or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that.
And it just turned out to be just another show.
Yeah, because like surely when you end series 1, you put in some sort of a cliffhanger or anything.
Well, technically there was a cliffhanger.
Well, kind of, but it was also not really much of anything.
Do you remember how season 1 of Sherlock ended? If Bad Batch ended like that, I would be angry, not gonna lie.
Oh, when it ended with like halfway through Act 3 of the episode.
Yeah, where at the pool scene, so like Moriarty had just like gone, oh, I gotta go, and then left John and Sherlock there after like the whole suicide bomb bullet thing or whatever. And then he like comes back and says, I've changed my mind. And then it's like, I'm gonna kill you now. And but then literally at the start of season 2, in like a minute, he says, I'm not gonna do that anymore, and then goes away again. Like if Bad Batch season 1 ended like that, I would have hated it. But yeah, it didn't end like that, luckily.
Yeah, it's I guess the other extreme. Yeah. Instead of a pointless cliffhanger, it's just like, well, there they go off on another adventure.
But without getting into spoilers again, I don't think it was wrapped up.
No, Season 2 will just be like part 2 of season 1.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
And considering there were 16 episodes in this,
they didn't really do much of anything.
But I think they were going more for a Rebels ending.
Remind me of how Rebels season 1 ended.
Well, apart from so they kill the Inquisitor on above Mustafar, but they get Kanan back, don't they?
Yeah.
And then so imagine like once they get Kanan back, and then the Star Destroyers explode. Imagine that's how Rebels ended. Season 1 ended. In reality, Season 1 ended with them going and joining the Phoenix Fleet. Phoenix Fleet and meeting Ahsoka. So, but ignore that. If it ended as soon as they rescued Kanan, that's how like the Bad Batch kind of did.
It feels like they didn't think they would get a season 2.
I think they did think they were going to get a season 2, and that they didn't even need a cliffhanger, a suitable ending in order to get people to watch it. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I don't know that I agree.
No, but they didn't wrap up enough for me to think that this is feasibly how it could have ended.
Well, it wraps up a story, kind of.
I think it leaves more of it open-ended.
It really does, so that whether or not it gets picked up, it would be fine. It really feels more like, well, if the story doesn't continue, this is done, and we can finish it in like a book or whatever.
Whoa, I don't think that could have ever have happened.
Well, people could have just not cared. I don't know, like, I don't think that Bad Batch Season 2 was in that big lineup of upcoming shows.
Yeah.
In fact, only Bad Batch was, because that was way before Season 1 that came out. That was like a year ago. Not a year ago, like 9 months ago. I forgot that it's not winter right now.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Should we move on to what the actual story was?
Maybe, but like Final Judgment, I guess we are not going to settle on whether this was a flat ending out of hubris or out of not knowing if it will continue.
Well, it will continue.
It will. It was confirmed last week.
But the production for Bad Batch happened years ago. It started years ago. So presumably they've been working on Bad Batch Season 2 for the last few years.
But then why only announce it now?
Because they want the anticipation.
I suppose.
And then they sort of ruined it by announcing that was going to be Season 2.
Oh well, what the hell. Let's move on to what you suggested we do a while ago. Let's get into everyone's favorite crochet granite of this episode.
Whoa! So, this episode picks up, which is entitled Camino Lost. Not a callback to Lightsaber Lost.
Or Padawan Lost.
No. Or Lost.
Or Bounty Lost. Or Lost to the TV series.
Yeah. And
we pick up at the beginning of the third act of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, so the Camino to Poker City is just getting destroyed by those three Venators, and the Bad Batch and Crosshair and AZ, they're screwed, basically.
Yeah, the city starts falling apart around them, and that entire big dome of that city that you've seen a million times just starts sinking with them.
Yeah,
they fall a little bit. And then I almost called her Ahsoka. Omega and Crosshair get separated by a big blast door.
Yeah, because of flooding.
The water starts leaking in.
Indeed.
AZI34521189624646987213447 is there with them as well, I think.
Is that a bit?
That was his actual name this time.
The actual name?
That's the actual name.
Whoa.
And it is actually the same one that Fives met a few years ago. I thought so too, but apparently it's the same one.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, AZ was telling Crosshair that he was in the process of drowning, because he was. It was pretty funny. Yeah, they all save... All the Bad Batch kick in to help Omega and Crosshair escape, and then they just keep going through the stuff to safety. Crosshair's still
Crosshair is being a bit of a dick, but he's coming along with them because what other chance does he have?
Yeah, otherwise he'll be big dead. And
Big Dad.
well, he keeps saying like, "Oh, you're putting all your faith in a child."
Yeah, he really doesn't like Omega, does he?
No.
He certainly would let her die because she's just dead weight on the team.
Exactly. But then they go to a segment. They go to their old barracks, which they say ironically this place is the safest. Whatever tech.
I don't understand how that's ironic, but sure.
Yeah, neither. I always thought because it was like the messiest place.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't smell anymore, which Echo points out in his only line of dialogue this time.
Was that his only line of dialogue?
I don't think so. He probably had like one more, but it's like the only one that I remember, and I watched it like 2 hours ago.
Echo even smell? Apparently so.
Good question. Don't their helmets filter out smells? What do the helmets even filter out? I don't remember.
They filter
Unless
out
the
gases.
First Order helmets.
Yeah, the First Order helmets are clearly just terrible. If like they don't filter out toxins, that literally like what's the point? Stormtrooper helmets do filter out toxins and smoke, and can also let you survive in a vacuum. And I think Clone Trooper helmets can also let you survive in a vacuum for a brief period of time too.
Yeah, which we know from our favorite episode. It's one of the Malevolence ones.
Yeah, the second Malevolent. No, the first Malevolence one.
No, the first one.
Yeah, the
The
first.
Shadow of Malevolence?
The one with the meme.
Or Malevolence Rising?
Malevolence, Rising Malevolence.
Oh, Rising Malevolence, because Malevolence is always at the end.
Oh yeah. Oh god damn it. Rising Malevolence, Rising.
That's the one. Destroy Malevolence, Destroy.
Yeah. Destroy all humans.
Shadow of Malevolence is Shadow.
Shadow the Hedgehog of the Malevolence. They see the pipes underneath. You know, the ones that they took the tube through.
The tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, miraculously they weren't crushed under the whole city that fell on them.
Yeah, because...
except the ones that did get crushed, even though the whole city didn't fall on them.
Yeah. Well, they're right on the sea floor, and the whole city has fallen pretty much to the sea floor.
Yeah. So they get into those pipes, and there's a bigger fish that's about to eat them, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like a turtle crocodile thing.
It's like a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
It's like the fifth Ninja Turtle that only exists in the IDW comic. But don't Google it because the turtle's name is Slash, and if you type out Ninja Turtle Slash, you'll get a lot of erotic fanfiction.
Huh.
Because Slash fiction is codename for that.
Maybe that will make some people look for it more.
Well, yes. Go to AO3 and look up that Ninja Turtle.
No.
Well, in that case, instead I'll keep listening to this riveting episode of podcasting.
Oh, yeah, this riveting podcast.
Yeah, because there are lots of rivets in that tube tunnel.
Indeed, and they're breaking! Oh no! Because of the big...
Oh no, it's
the big
flooding
thingy
as well. And AZ saves them, whatever, they get out of there into Nalice's secret lab again.
Yeah. And Hunter hasn't been there. For a second I thought, how come the characters are just completely forgotten from last episode, but Hunter didn't go there. I just thought he was an idiot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I thought he was an idiot for a second. But yeah.
I thought it was going to be like leading into them finding something incredibly shady in there, but not really. They just talk about them being from there again. And also Crosshair was never in there before, but he didn't really react.
Yeah.
Except to the realization that Omega is in fact older than any of them.
Yeah, makes him,
Which makes me think that they age faster than double speed. Because I'm pretty sure they should be more than 20 years old.
What do you mean?
Like, body age. Like, if you look at those troopers, they don't look 20.
I don't know, have you seen some 20-year-olds?
Well, yes. I'm pretty sure I don't look 20 either, but, like, that's beside the point.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what Tamara Morrison looked like when he was 20, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should I look up
Or
Tamara
Donald...
Morrison when he was 20?
Yeah, or what age is, what's his name? Not Donald Logue.
Daniel Logan.
Daniel Logan. Donald Logue is, not commissioner. Whatever, one of the policemen in Gotham and other Batman things.
Yeah. I'm looking at Tamara Morrison when he was younger, but he's kind of just... I don't think he was any younger than he was in Attack of the Clones in the photos.
Are you saying that he was 20 years old in Attack of the Clones?
No, I don't know how old he was in Attack of the Clones. Oh, he was 40 in Attack 42 in Attack of the Clones.
Whoa, crossover with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy confirmed.
Whoa! What's his name? Wrote Star Wars.
Douglas Adams.
Douglas Logan.
He wrote several episodes of Classic Who.
He did. Douglas Adams, Daniel Logan confirmed, because you said Douglas Logan for a second as well.
Did I?
Why? I thought you sounded like you did.
I probably did say that.
I have no idea.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that adult Daniel Logan doesn't look too dissimilar from Django.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the point.
Kind of.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be adverse to Daniel Logan playing a young Boba Fett.
Daniel Jogan.
Daniel
Jogan.
No!
Get a taste of that fruit.
No, I don't want to taste Daniel Jogan's Jogan fruit.
He's adult now, it's fine.
How old is he? He's probably like...
He was like 10, 20 years ago. He's like in his 30s probably.
Jeez Louise.
Or something, I don't know.
Jeez Louise, I can't believe I walked in on you having a poo.
No, he's apparently been acting since he was 3 years old.
Since he was 3 years old?
Well, but IMDb says he started acting when he was 10 years old.
Oh my god, IMDb, why do you lie?
Wikipedia says that he's been active since 1990, but he was 3 back then, not 10.
Maybe he was 10 years old in 1990. And he was 20 years old, 22 years old in Attack of the Clones.
Apparently he was nominated for a Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a feature film in Episode 2 Attack of the Clones.
No way.
For saying, get him, Dad!
Get him, Dad! Get him! Did?
Yep.
No, let's see. Whatever her name was. Tom Waite here. Get him, Dad! Get him!
Well, I'm just a simple kid trying to face the galaxy in one-armed combat.
What are you saying? Did Daniel Logan voice the young clones last episode?
I am unsure. I would assume so.
Because I'm still salty that they changed the models for the young clones.
Maybe they're just like, mid-aged clones.
Well,
mid-agers. Like what they... No, mid-agers. That's what they call teens in Star Wars.
Whoa, that's cursed. I actually hate that.
Apparently it was not him.
Probably because he doesn't sound like he did 10 years ago.
Oh my god, he was in Hercules The Legendary Journeys with Mr. Disappointed. What's his fucking name? Kevin Sorbo?
I don't know what that is or who that is.
Don't you know that meme with Hercules yelling, "Disappointed"?
Oh, yes.
Apparently there was a stage direction that he read by mistake and then they just left it in.
That's so funny. That's terrible.
And Xena the Warrior Princess was a spin-off of that show.
What? What's Xena got to do with Hercules?
She's a warrior princess in that universe or whatever.
I have a question. Why does no one call... Why does... All the Hercules stuff is based off the Greek Hercules, right? So why is it not Heracles?
I guess it's a less cool name in people's brains.
But it's only less cool because people don't use Heracles.
It may or may not be because of the Disney thing, but I don't know.
I think it was even before the Disney thing. I think if Marvel do Hercules, they should call it Heracles just to be different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh well.
We should probably get back to the Bad Batch.
Should we?
So
yeah, we haven't finished... Well, we kind of almost finished the
there's
plot.
no way for them to get out of Lama Sue's her secret lab. There's no way.
Except there is one. They're going back to basics.
They're going to become Bionicles.
Not really. They're going to learn a trick that the very first trick that they learned as fetuses, and that is to hide in a tube.
Yeah. No, I was saying because the canister launch thing is like what happens to the Toa Mater.
It is. They come out of big tubes on the beach.
Yeah, exactly like the Terminator. So, and they need AZ to sort of guide the lab tube things out of there. And it's kind of freaky, because why do they need these giant test tubes that are the size of, like, grown adults?
I do not know.
I think that's kind of creepy.
I mean, we do not know how the Bad Batch was exactly created. Maybe they were kept in there a little bit longer.
I want to talk about a theory that I have about the Bad Batch that I think we'll talk about later.
We sure can do that. Before then, we should talk about AZ's failing battery.
Yeah,
He's running out of juice.
AZ is he's lazy bastard, and he's just gonna run out and just die. And
which
he does.
If I'm not mistaken, is the very first time we've seen something like that, a droid running out of energy.
Possibly. But he does do that, and he runs out of energy, and Omega is in her tube, floating to the surface after AZ saves her. And then she says on the comms, "I'm going back for AZ." And then she just immediately opens her capsule and jumps in to the water.
And obviously, the droid, the lifeless body of the droid is weighing her down so much she can't swim up.
Because it's literally made of metal.
And you're not even supposed to do that with people who are much more buoyant than metal.
Yeah.
Well, so she starts drowning, and Wrecker and or Hunter are just about to jump after her, but then you see that Crosshair is there with a gun pointed at her.
Oh my god, he's got a gun!
He's hated her this whole time. He's just going to put her down.
Yeah,
like
a dog.
The dead weight that she's about to be.
Indeed. It's like, oh my god, how could you be so mean? But then it turns out to be grapple hook.
Yeah, and he pulls out both her and AZI number soup.
Yeah. I thought it was a cool moment.
That was a really cool moment. I did like that as well. But, the fun times are not to be had for much longer. Because when they get out of the water and get back to their ship, which apparently this whole time has been called the Marauder.
Yeah, I had no idea.
No one ever called it that. But they say it 5 times in this episode only.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's what it's called.
It's modified Omicron class shuttle.
Who knew? I just thought it was cool. Yeah. But yeah, they get
never had a name.
And Crosshair's having a bit of a sulk.
Yeah. This changes nothing. I am still an asshole, and you should still join me because you betrayed me.
Yeah, and
I should trade my voices because
you're basically
Crosshair. I took out my chip a long time ago.
Yeah. So he's having a sulk. He's like, Hunter was saying like a good squad leader never leaves his squad behind, and I was just like, bruh, what did you do, Hunter? What did you do?
They had no choice.
And literally neither did Crosshair, to be honest. I think it's a bit of a flawed argument, and I'm a bit. Well, this is pretty much where the episode ends, so I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't go into how Crosshair kind of did have a point, and that Hunter and the Bad Batch did leave Crosshair. But at the very end of the episode... Well, no, before the very end of the episode, Omega says to Crosshair that,
he's a big meanie.
He's a big meanie, but he's a big meanie brother to her and to them, the rest of the Bad Batch.
It turns out that Crosshair has been the emotional core of the show all along. And then he just stands on that platform that no one knows about and waits for pickup from the Empire.
So, the episode ends, but then it doesn't, because we go to this planet that has these big rounded hills.
That are actually space stations or whatever.
They're big bases. They look pretty cool. I think it was cool.
They were cool. All their base belonged to the Empire.
Indeed.
And we see Nala Se get out of a big shuttle accompanied by a bunch of clone commandos.
And they've all got the same painting, like the same colour marking as the clone troopers did on like Camino, like that same grey.
And then we encounter something else that is quite reminiscent of something.
Oh my god, it's a woman, like from Star Wars.
Well, not really.
Are you telling me there's no women in Star Wars, Luke?
There's barely any, if you look at original trilogy at least.
Whoa.
Like, there's like, how many? 3?
How many fingers do you have?
Leia, Mon Mothma, and Aunt Beru.
There's a female A-Wing pilot, I think. Or
I don't know about that.
Or B-Wing pilot, I can't remember. I don't think you
I
see her
wouldn't be
very
for
long.
sure. Luke had a couple of female friends, but they got cut. Han was making out with some rando in the Mos Eisley cantina, but she got cut.
Yeah.
Who else is there? The dancers in Jabba's palace.
Yep.
Sice
Integral female
Noodles.
characters.
Sice Noodles, that's my
Noodles is a
favorite female
role model
character.
for all little girls out there. To have a voice like Sice Noodles, amazing.
I haven't seen anyone else of her species, by which I mean women.
God. Spoken like a true Rick and Morty fan right there.
I haven't seen any more femoids.
Oh, God. No.
I haven't seen any of those frog people with that snout and tusks until War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha, where there's one on Nar Shaddaa or wherever officiating like that. Remember how Boba Fett became a gladiator for a bit and called himself Django?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Fan service, I guess? Fanta. I haven't read any War of the Bounty Hunters in a few weeks. Gotta catch up.
I've only read the
it's not that great. Anyway,
1.
there have been better Star Wars.
Bruh.
Like Vader Down.
Whoa. Which one was that?
That was the one where Vader got downed. It was the first crossover between the Darth Vader comic and the mainline Star Wars.
Why is there a whole comic when Vader gets down?
Well, you know, his dancing skills are so good that they just had to.
They just had to. I mean, Darth Vader's got robot legs, so he can probably do some pretty sick moves.
Yeah, imagine all the dance moves that General Grievous can do with all those legs and arms.
Are you telling me that what he did in Revenge of the Sith wasn't dancing?
Sure. It was dancing with purpose.
Indeed. Well, something we should probably finish is that we didn't actually mention who the person was that met Nala
Yeah, tell me
Se.
about that woman.
She was wearing a very similar uniform to Dr. Pershing from The Mandalorian. That being a science lab thing with the Kaminoan symbol on the arm.
Indeed.
Whoa.
And also weird robotic glasses, but those are probably not relevant.
Yeah. Dr. Pershing being one of the very few people in all of Star Wars to wear glasses.
Indeed. And one of the very few people to only have one ear.
He has only one ear?
Well, he gets part of it shot off in The Rescue.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't even realise.
When everyone's favorite character, Cara Dune, shoots the villain, the bad guy who holds him hostage.
The Uber-Nazi.
The Uber-Nazi.
Yeah.
She shoots him through Pershing's ear.
I appreciate that bit of that episode exists.
So do I.
Because it's interesting.
For many reasons.
It's interesting to see that happen. You know, that some like Uber Star Wars fascists actually like talk. Like, we know they're all fascists, but it's interesting to hear them and then get just shot and killed because they suck.
Yeah, punch Nazis.
Yeah. Like
and it's funny that it was Cara Dune who did it.
Yes, that is funny. Poetic justice.
I suppose. It's a shame that I liked Cara Dune, but Gina Carano turned out to be not a very good person.
Turned out to be a terrible person. That is unfortunate. But do you think we should quickly transition into the nitty-gritty?
We might just point out that Nala Se joined that woman's cloning team, and that's the end of the series.
We don't know what kind of team it is.
No, and we still don't know whether or not Nouveau Vindi is on that planet.
I was thinking as soon as it ended, like, God, I wish Nouveau Vindi was there.
like as soon as Nalase landed, I had my
Nouveau
fingers
Vindy.
crossed. I was like, please be greeted by Vindy.
It was like, yeah, Nicolas, been a long time.
Like if the last shot of the episode was Nouveau Vindy going yeah, I would be 100% on board with this as the ending of the series.
Or, like, when it cut to black, you just hear Nouveau Vindy do his weird laugh.
You cut to black, Dave Filoni as himself says, no one's ever truly gone.
And then
you hear an echoing voice, yeah.
Amazing. That would actually be...
But it's got like a robotic distortion over it, because he's also Darth Vader now.
Oh
but
my
Vindy.
god. No, but we
Darth
do know...
Vinder.
We do know that the Republic have Nouveau Vindy. Or the Empire have Nouveau Vindy.
Yeah, it was confirmed because in the prequel book to Star Wars Rogue One,
Catalyst.
they offered him and Lock Derd. Wait, was it Lock Derd?
Yes, Lock Dadbod himself.
Yeah, Lock Dadbod. Yeah, I was thinking of Mar Took, or Mar, the other guy. Yeah, Lock Derd, both of them in exchange for everyone's favorite Mads Mikkelsen role.
Galen Erso.
Jyn Erso's dad, yes. The guy who made the vent on the Death Star go burr.
Yeah. Well, he made the Death Star delayed.
Well, yeah, I guess. They did build another one, but they didn't really blow up any planets after Air-Deraan, did they?
That we know of.
That is true. The Tarkin will probably come back or something.
God, I swear to God, if that comes back, the prototype Death Star.
Yeah, I do not know.
Yeah. I do wonder what the connection is with this Doctor and Dr. Pershing.
I'm going to assume nothing really, because there are like 50 years until he's active.
No, but I mean of the organisation.
Dr. Pershing is not that old.
No. Oh, God.
He's probably like the successor of her successor of her successor.
I just thought of something that I hope I don't see, but I feel like we could see. Like channels like...
Baby Pershing?
No, like channels like Geeks and Gamers or Star Wars Theory referring to the woman at the end of the Bad Batch as a nurse. I feel like that could happen.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I would actually lose my faith in the entire Star Wars community. I already kind of have many times.
Just to look at... I keep bringing this up every week, but just don't look at the comments of anything on the Star Wars YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't turn the comments off by now.
Well, if they turn it off, then they'll think that they won.
They would admit defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You don't want to do that.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I think that whatever kind of cloning stuff that's going on, I don't think is Palpatine stuff.
By the way, hello, we are in the nitty-gritty now.
Indeed.
Officially,
yeah. I don't think it's Palpatine stuff. Because Palpatine cloning stuff has been exclusively on Exegol. And we know that from the blog post that came out literally last week.
In that case, we still have no idea what this leads to.
I think they're just doing another project. Because I feel like if there's only one project, like if everything was building up to something we've already seen, that would be a bit boring.
A little bit.
So I think that the Pershing stuff, the Moff Gideon stuff, the Bad Batch stuff, like maybe the Moff Gideon stuff might be like a splinter, or the Pershing
of a
stuff.
mind's eye?
Yeah, a splinter from what's going on now. But I think these are all new things.
Yeah, I think it would be better if Dr. Pershing was only like some leftover personnel and stuff, because otherwise that would imply that they didn't really achieve anything in 30 years.
Maybe they are trying to create a new clone army, maybe?
Maybe,
they tried that in
like
Legends,
super clones or whatever. A whole army of wreckers or something.
Yeah.
But not literally wreckers.
Or like or they'll get in Legends. They got I think this was after Endor anyway. They got like the best stormtroopers, and then they cloned those guys. So that means they had a variety of templates.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of only one dude being cloned like a bazillion times.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know.
Makes
I think
sense.
it could just be something completely different still. It might not
What
even...
if they, instead of cloning people, why don't they just go the extra mile and just start cloning, I don't know, rancors or something?
Yeah, they could be doing... It could be less cloning and more genetic engineering.
Yeah, because we do know that... Well, we do know that Kaminoans are fucking... not exorcists. What is it called?
Evil.
Eugenics.
Yeah, they
experts.
love eugenics.
They really do. And Nala Say, especially, since she was the one who was those people, they're like the betas. What if we made them like the alpha chads?
Yeah. Nala Say believes in the Sigma male stuff.
She is a big Omicron-verse fan.
The Bad Batch are true Omicron males.
Yeah. She writes slash fiction about that big snapping turtle.
Whoa. But yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, but I'm disappointed that we're going to have to wait. I'm disappointed that we've got to wait a whole year for the next series of Bad Batch.
Do we know exact timeline of when it's coming out?
Probably more than a year.
We do know that it's 2022. Or, unless something happens.
Yeah.
Which it might, because I hear that Mando Season 3 has been delayed.
Has it?
I think so.
Oh, did you see that the first piece of Mandalorian written fiction has been released? This is the first time we've ever got any extra TV show, canon material. Do you know what it was?
Was it like another blog post?
No, it was the Mandalorian sticker book. It's the first,
oh, wow.
It's the first piece of written Mandalorian merchandise released.
Is Cara Dune in that sticker book?
I don't know, actually. But it's kind of sad that that's the only thing that the Mandalorian has had in written form. That's canon.
I mean, that book that was going to come out would have been out by now if it wasn't cancelled, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and presumably it was a Cara Dune book.
It's so weird to me that there hasn't been a verified leak about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is that they also cancelled the Mandalorian visual dictionary as well, which sucks.
Yeah, I do wonder what it's about.
Do you reckon we'll get a Bad Batch visual dictionary?
I think it's unavoidable, unless it's a rights thing.
Why?
I can't see how or why it would be a rights thing, but...
I think it's all owned by Disney at this point.
But maybe, the company that makes those visual dictionaries doesn't have access to Disney Plus.
So they
I don't know.
I think DK make them, don't they?
Donkey Kong?
Yeah, Donkey Kong, indeed.
I call him Donkey Kong for some reason.
Video game Donkey Kong.
Damn, boy. He thick.
Yeah, so I think that DK make the visual dictionaries, and I think they've been able to do it for Rogue One and everything. Don't know if they could do it for Mandalorian or not. I don't know.
Tough to say.
Mandalorian Season 1 had a better ending than this, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it had a hook with the Darksaber. It had, some character deaths. Spoiler alert.
There is a hook for Bad Batch of what is going on with Nala Say in that. But it's not enough.
It's not enough. Do we super believe that's what Season 2 is going to be about?
Possibly not. The thing is, imagine if, instead of seeing the Darksaber, Moff Gideon with the Darksaber, imagine at the end of Mandalorian Season 1, we just see the Moff Gideon getting out the TIE Fighter. That's the equivalent of what's happened at the end of this episode.
Well, get out of a TIE Fighter and get into his Architans, probably.
Maybe. Or get out the TIE Fighter and then walk into another base of Imperials.
Into a different TIE Fighter.
Yeah, that's what this sort of was. It wasn't enough of a hook. I'm saying it was good, but it wasn't enough of a hook.
Would it be better if Dustin Hoffman showed up in his Captain Hook costume from the movie Hook? Would that be enough of a hook for you?
Dustin Hoffman from Hook appearing as Hook. I would rather Hugh Jackman appearing as Blackbeard, actually.
And sing another Nirvana song?
Yeah.
Oh, what if he sang the Life Day Carol
The Life Day to the tune of Star Wars. Or what if he sung Smells Like Teen Spirit to the tune of Star Wars?
I don't know the words.
Neither.
I was going to try it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was pretty cool to see under Camino, like underwater, like all the structures and stuff.
I mean, there wasn't much.
Yeah, but it was cool to see.
It was basically just struts and a couple of tubes.
I thought it was cool. It seemed like there was a lot more going on that the clones were not privy to.
Yeah, I wonder if all of them were secret labs.
What if there's secret cities on the sea floor? Like, did you see the size of the building that Nala Se's lab was in? It was huge.
It was a thick boy.
It was huge, and so it's clearly got more than just Nala Se's factory or lab in it.
Clearly more than just Clone Force 99.
Oh, that is I should say my theory for Clone Force 99. Why are they called Clone Force 99, Luke?
They're named after 99, the defective clone from Clone Wars.
And how could
Everyone's
they be
favorite.
named after 99 if 99 wasn't a hero until the Battle of Camino in the Clone Wars?
Well, I guess they weren't called that until then.
Or
Are
they
you saying
didn't
that
exist until then.
Ooh, they were grown hyper fast.
Yeah, maybe they are, because in Legends, there's these things called Sparty clones. Now, I know Sparty clones were not, they're different from Kaminoan clones. Like, they weren't made by Kaminoans. But Sparty clones grow super fast. And they're genetically defective. That's not like a eugenics thing. That's like genetically they're not up to scratch. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Imagine if they did super fast cloning, and because of the super fast cloning, they're not gonna look like Jango Fett when they grow up. They're gonna be different. They're gonna have mutations, and so the Kaminoans would just like make sure or guide the mutations when they're growing super fast, when they are not 100% Django DNA, when they're just like becoming adults immediately. They become the advantageous mutations that the Bad Batch have. Because like that's a pretty big mutation to look like bloody Crosshair when you're a normal... Like Crosshair and a normal clone look nothing alike, do they?
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that Crosshair would have grown up for 10 years. I find it more easy to believe that he and the rest of the Bad Batch were like accelerated growth, and the mutations was from the start because of this like acceleration, perhaps.
I see what you mean.
And that's how Omega, who was of the first batch, was able to be there when they were created. And she seemed to remember when they were created. Like, yeah, Omega being part of the first batch would be made at the same time as Boba Fett. So that would be 32 BBY. Okay, but the next lot, the clones that fought in the Battle of Geonosis, at the very start of the Clone Wars, they were all created that year too, because they are all 10 years old at the Battle of Geonosis. And that includes like Rex, Cody, all of that lot. They're all in that time. They're the first bigger batch.
Mm-hmm.
So they were all created not too long after Omega. Omega does not have accelerated growth. She would literally be a baby and would have no memories until she's at least 5 years old or something. Because she has no accelerated growth, she would actually be 5 years old. Whereas all of the other clones would be 10 years old in terms of their, growth. So she could remember when and be there working in Nala Se's lab when the Bad Batch were created. I feel like they must have been created far more recently than, everyone else.
So you're saying that they're like 2 years old?
I think they might be 2 or 3 years old.
I will not say that I doubt that.
I think that would be interesting if they look down on all of the regs. They look down on them for not having experience. Even Crosshair was like, I don't want to be bossed around by a child. And then it turns out that Omega is older than you. What if everyone, like all of the regs, are older than them? Wouldn't that be humbling?
Wouldn't that be a shock to the system? Yeah, that's very interesting. And since we didn't have like huge revelations or any resolution to Omega's plot, I really wouldn't be surprised if that was what they did. She was highly agitated when they were entering that lab.
Yeah.
She's obviously either lived through something bad in there, or there are secrets that she doesn't want the others to know.
Yeah. And, like, we don't see the Bad Batch, or don't hear about the Bad... Obviously, because the Bad Batch weren't created. But we don't hear about them or see them in the early seasons of Clone Wars, do we?
No.
So maybe they literally just weren't around.
But would they also have, like, fake memories or something?
Who's to say they can't do that?
Very fair.
I mean, if the Kaminoans, who are doing this kind of thing, like, they're doing all this genetic engineering, who's to say they can't genetically engineer fake memories? Maybe this is a crackpot theory. This is a crackpot in prediction. And if this comes true, I'm literally God. No, I'm kidding. But what if the Kaminoans and the Imperial Doctors are genetically engineering people to have memories and training? That's why they've got all the commandos who have been trained from birth, not just like with, you know, the pressing buttons training that the young clones have done, but like properly trained since birth in order to be the best soldiers. What if they're using those memories of training and implanting them into people using like genetic engineering in order to create better soldiers? Like, imagine if you're 20 years old, but you have 10 years of fighting experience, even though that you have only been in the army for a year. This is like literally the companies with their entry job requirements for like you must have 3 years experience in this coding language that has existed for 1 year. This is their dream. What if they could be doing that?
It's not unlikely at all. And, you know, Star Wars has always been quite left-wing. Maybe this is the new thing that they're satirizing.
Yeah. But, like, maybe that's why, like, Grogu in Mandalorian is 50-odd years old, and he has been trained in the Jedi Temple for a while, hasn't he?
Allegedly.
What if Pershing was meant to extract the genetic memory from Grogu and put it into someone like Gideon, so he would become... he would have gotten a long time's worth of training in the Jedi Temple.
So it's not about extracting the midichlorians, it's about extracting the knowledge.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory.
I don't think I've heard anyone say that. I've literally just thought of that on the spot right then.
Well, you better write it down and put it on Reddit before anyone else does.
Yeah.
Get some more goddamn eyes on our product.
That could be interesting to see. I'm not 100% sure with the Grogu stuff, or with that's what they're actually doing, but it's a possibility. I do think that the Bad Batch are younger than they think.
I would not be surprised.
Because otherwise Omega literally couldn't remember when they were born.
Also, like, in real life, when you test, like, mutations and stuff, you want your test subjects to be as short-lived as possible, so that the cycles happen very fast.
Yeah. So, what if the reason why Omega was so uncomfortable with being there is because she saw a load of, you know, test subjects for this kind of accelerated growth cloning fail and die.
Yeah. Maybe she saw their entire, like, life cycles just blast past in, like, days.
Yeah. Maybe she's seen, like, 10 hunters die in a test tube in front of her.
Maybe, like, literally, like, a whole wall full of people, clones who look just like Hunter.
I had a dream that we would see... last night I had a dream about this episode of The Bad Batch, that we would see a room full of corpses of dead clones, of experiments gone wrong.
Oh, kind of like Alien Resurrection.
Is that what happens in that? I haven't seen it.
Well, the point of that movie is that they clone Ripley.
Yeah.
And she finds a whole room full of, like, deformed versions of herself.
Yeah.
That are, like, pleading to her to kill them.
Yeah, what if it's something like that? What if that's what Omega saw, and that's why she's so traumatized by it?
Yeah, that would be messed up. I would love that.
And then her memory of that, which may have happened a few years ago at this point, her memory of that was jogged when she was on the planet in Bounty Lost, when she saw the deformed test subjects of the Kaminoans in a test tubes in front of her, and she's like, Oh my god. Not only do the Kaminoans want to do this to me, but I've seen them do this to the Bad Batch.
Yeah. And they even do it to themselves.
Yeah. That would be pretty freaky.
Yeah, but sadly, it might be a bit too freaky for the Bad Batch.
No, I don't think they'll show... I'm not saying they'll show the body horror deformed Bad Batch.
Implication of it might be what they do.
You can imply that kind of thing quite easily, I think.
Yeah, maybe like quick flashes of like the faces, and then like from afar.
I think the faces would be worse. I think...
Or maybe like just the eyes.
I think you could do it quite well with just silhouettes and tubes.
Kind of like what we saw in The Siege.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And maybe that's the kind of thing that's going on there as well. Accelerated growth or whatever. Who knows?
Unsure. Well, I don't think that was accelerated growth, because they were talking about like
blood.
Them injecting stuff into test subjects.
I do think that was blood transfusion.
Yeah, or something similar.
Yeah.
Just some sort of quote-unquote genetic material.
Yeah. But I think the genetic memory kind of thing could be interesting. We'll go full Assassin's Creed on Star Wars.
Oh, yes. Go into the memories of Boba to see all the ancient Fets doing what they do best.
Yeah. Being simple men in the galaxy.
Yeah, and stealing other people's quotes.
Yeah.
Like their father before them.
Yeah. I hope I'm not setting myself up for disappointment, but I'm not expecting this to be real. This is my theory.
That's your in-prediction.
That's my in-prediction. Yeah.
My in-prediction is that it's going to be fun.
Whoa! How many seasons do you think Bad Batch will get?
I will say, if it's successful, then 4.
4?
Like Rebels.
Yeah.
Resistance Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger, didn't it?
Yeah.
They went to unknown space.
It was meant to set up episode 9, wasn't it?
I think it was explaining why they weren't at episode 8.
Oh.
Or something.
Yeah.
And it's the same ending as Stargate.
They should have put the Colossus and also the main character from Resistance in the final battle on Exegol.
I think they did.
No,
actually.
they didn't.
Did they not?
No, they said they did, but they didn't. I think ILM confirmed that the Colossus was not there. Or somebody in some form confirmed that the Colossus was not there.
Oh, so they said that it was there in the novelization, but it wasn't in the actual movie.
Yeah, or they said that it was there, but physically, on camera, it wasn't there.
Well, it had 20 ships 50 times, so...
Yeah. So
that's an exaggeration, but
that's
they
basically
did
what they
copy and
did,
paste.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, how many ships were supposed to be there? 2,000? Or 1 million?
That's a pretty big gap.
Well, yes, but it was just a lot of fun stuff. You can't just hand make that many ships.
Yeah.
And make them look good.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that, but it would have been nice to see the Colossus.
I mean, not really. I don't really care.
I've just looked at the Battle of Exegol and on the combatants and strength, and then on strength, it literally has for the Resistance. It literally says all the Jedi.
All the Jedi.
And it lists all the Jedi. It says Adi Gallia, Kanan Jarrus, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rey, and then it has the little cross they have on Wikipedia. And then it has in brackets, later resurrected. Ayla Secura, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker.
Fuck? What are you talking
Ben
about?
Solo with a little cross there because he died. Ahsoka
What do you mean
Tano.
later resurrected?
Because Rey came back to life, remember?
Oh, right. Okay.
Ahsoka Tano, Luminara Unduli, Mace Windu, and Yoda. God damn it, that's so stupid. Oh, the Citizens Fleet has 14,000 ships.
Shut up.
14,000. Oh my god, there were slave ships in there.
What?
There were slave ships in the Citizens Fleet.
From Zygarians?
Oh no, anti-slaver ships.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
God. That gave me a bit of a heart attack.
Jesus Christ. God damn.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. Imagine as like we're going in to like defeat the big bad in the world, and it's like, look, America has sent 15 battleships. Germany have sent 10 battleships. Oh look, Al Qaeda have sent 4 battleships. Like, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
I mean, united against a common enemy?
I don't want to work with Al Qaeda. I think they're all gone now, aren't they? Taliban definitely isn't.
Probably not. I don't know.
Definitely not a good time to release my the Mandalorians in The Mandalorian are the Taliban.
It's never a good time for that.
I genuinely think that's what they were going for, but
weren't they going for a similar thing with Sogura's people?
No, I meant not like as in guerrilla fighters. I meant as in indoctrinated.
Mm.
You know, with the Mandalorians that Din Djarin was part of.
Yeah, the Children of the Watch.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know enough about the Taliban.
Now, in the video I was gonna do, I was gonna say like how Death Watch, like very loosely, is like how the Mujahideen in the Soviet war, which Rambo 3 thanks, they were fighting against the Soviets, and then they sent their children and their families to Pakistan. And then in Pakistan, they were sent to like these super religious schools where they were radicalized, and then they came back to Afghanistan as the Taliban. And Taliban means scholarly, I believe. So I was thinking that the Children of the Watch may have been the second, like the generation below the Death Watch. Like they were their children who were then brought up in this super radicalized system and then let back once all of Death Watch had pretty much died after the many civil wars.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that was my idea, and that's why they're super radicalized. That's why they're super different to all the other Mandalorians, because they've been like really, brought up differently. But I don't think it's the right climate to release that.
When will it be?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe just don't make it.
Maybe. But it's what I think they might have been going for.
It's possible.
Just using some real-world analogies. That's all.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Crosshair, like, redemption stuff, or lack thereof?
I think it can be interesting, because
they left Crosshair on the platform.
Yeah, he refused to go with them and waited for a pickup truck.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Agent Callus, but I very much doubt that it will go to the point that he rejoins them.
I thought that they were going to do an Agent Callus and Zeb on the Geonosian moon thing when Omega and Crosshair were trapped in that room.
Yeah, I thought that was where it would go as well, but
instead it was just fast-paced the whole way, which was pretty cool. I liked that. It was a good episode.
It was good. It may have been a little bit more like General Hux in episode 9.
Oh, what?
Well,
like,
not even that.
No.
I don't care if who wins, I just want Kylo Ren to lose. No, it's more like he is still their enemy, but there is a little bit of, like, begrudging respect. Or, not respect.
Yeah.
Just the tiniest bit of, not sure what I would call it. Because kinship also doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I don't think that the Bad Batch reached out to Crosshair as much as I think they should have.
No.
Because they didn't try...
Except for Omega.
They didn't try and, like, understand the whole situation from his point of view. Like, Wrecker was, like... sounded like he was almost going to cry and said, "You didn't even try and come back." It's like, bruh. That literally is victim blaming right there.
Yeah. And,
it's like saying to somebody who was assaulted and saying, "You didn't even try and not be assaulted."
Let's not go there.
Well, that's what happened to him.
It is, but yeah, I am guessing that season 2 will be just more of this.
What, of Crosshair chasing them down and letting them go?
Well, yeah, but more of everything, because they, the situation with Sid wasn't resolved.
Oh my god, I swear to God, if there's more Sid episodes.
they're racking up more and more debt the
How?
longer they're not coming back. They were going on a mission for her when they got a call from Rex.
Ugh.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
They abandoned the mission, and since they haven't spoken to her. No, they did. They left Gregor with her.
Yeah,
But like,
and we never saw... Gregor has returned to his home planet. And he died on the way.
and didn't die on his way
He
there.
didn't die, whoa.
They also met Wolf and stole an ATTE.
Yes. Oh, God. It's... I felt like Crosshair was also talking to the Bad Batch as if they were with Rex and his opposition movement. Like, he was saying, what are you pursuing, or whatever? You know, the Republic, Rex. I was like, bruh, they're actually mercenaries working for very morally dubious things. So, they literally worked for Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Well, indirectly.
Yeah.
They worked for the person who works for Jabba.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all stuff that they could have dug much deeper into, but they just didn't.
Yeah, which is a bit unfortunate, and that makes it feel less like a finale and more like a big episode. Which, it was a big, good episode, but I feel like these sort of things should have been addressed in a later episode, meaning that this shouldn't have really been the finale, even though, like, thematically with the destruction of Kamino, it fits. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like they might have thought, when they're creating the Bad Batch, is like, okay, we've started the series on Kamino, and I guess we could end it on Kamino, so we'll bring this arc back, and then we'll have the bits that come after the Kamino arc happen next series, and then I guess we'll have more Sid stories in between.
But what they could have was take out a few, like Rampage and a few other episodes like that from the first half, make this like full 22 episodes, and have this be the mid-season finale.
I don't think it should be the mid-season. Do you think? I think the mid-season should have been Ryloth.
Yeah, possibly. But like, also like a good mid-season hook would be Hunter getting captured. Even though that's like the most cliche mid-season finale that's ever existed, probably.
Yeah, that
Like
would be
death
very
fake out.
cliche. That would be very cliche me.
Clique-schmee. The problem is we can't even call this the dumbest thing we've ever said, because we know that's not the case.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that was, but I don't know. Probably trying to call an episode Newt Gunray's Spunks, though.
Imagine. Well, the last episode could have been named something different, but probably demonetized immediately.
Yeah, I don't think that YouTube likes the word slave.
No. You'll understand if that episode gets released.
If.
Yeah,
and if it's in a listenable state.
Only if.
Listenable state like Tennessee.
What do you mean Tennessee's in a listenable?
Because Nashville is in Tennessee, isn't it? The music city.
Oh, yeah, Nashville, Tennessee, yeah.
That's also one of the dumbest things I've ever said. This is a good week for bad jokes.
Good week for bad
If you're a dad and you like dad jokes, well, you're welcome. What can I say?
Except...
Achoo.
Whoa. Did we see much of AZ after Omega rescued AZ?
I doubt it. I assume his batteries are just out, so he's just sleeping on the ship.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to join the Bad Batch proper from now on.
Oh, I prefer Gonki.
Well, he could become like the AP5 to Gonki's chopper.
I don't think I like AZ enough to have him in every episode.
Well, he could grow on me. He's fine. I don't mind him.
Yeah, I don't mind him, but I don't know.
I would prefer to have, what was Seth Green's droid's name?
Todo 360.
Yeah, Todo 360. To have him around all the time, that would be fun. They're getting away!
I love that bit. I've said this before, but I don't think the Todo 360 and Cad Bane thing is like master and, servant.
Commander.
Whoa. It's not like Todo 360 is a abused and like indentured servitude or slave to Cad Bane. I don't think it's like that, because Cad Bane would not... If Cad Bane couldn't put up or didn't like Todo in any way, he wouldn't put up with him, because Todo 360... Like, why would he rebuild Todo 360 after using him as a suicide bomb?
Also, why did he use him as a bomb? It's not even a suicide bomb, because Todo didn't even know he had a bomb or something. Or he didn't want to be blown up.
He was like, what? Where's that beeping coming from?
Yeah. It's like he's like his baby Yoda or something.
Yeah.
Also, when you said Cad Bane, the connection kind of fritzed out, so I thought you said Chad Bane.
Whoa. Chad Bane. God damn it. But I'm very surprised we didn't see any more Fennec Shand.
Yeah, or Rex, or Gregor, or anyone, really.
Yeah.
We didn't see a whole lot of Rampart either.
Yeah.
The only thing he did this episode was like, yeah, okay, we're done here, let's go.
Yeah, he said, let's meet up with the rest of the fleet. Where's the rest of the fleet going?
Unknown regions, perhaps?
Oh my god.
Imagine if he said, we're going to the Emperor's Observatory.
Remember
those? Remember those?
Yeah, because that was back when the Emperor was observing Snoke, wasn't it?
It was never confirmed what it was. It was just some threat outside of the known galaxy.
But I mean, like, when like Chuck Wendig was writing it, I think he said, or like at least in the writing, it seems like it's in reference to Snoke being in the unknown regions. But now it's just him scouting out the unknown regions and looking for Exegol, I think.
You think it was looking for Exegol?
Maybe. Oh no, he already found it. I don't know then.
It could be like, it can't be the Chiss either, because he knew they were there.
Yeah. No, they don't really make much sense
maybe?
anymore. No, he doesn't care about the Grisk. It doesn't make that much sense anymore. But
it will probably never come back.
Remember the one on Pilio?
Is that the one where you go as Luke Skywalker in Battlefront?
Yeah.
Where you meet that person with a weird name?
Del Meeko.
Del Meeko.
Yeah. I find the idea of like the Inferno Squad second in command is Captain Meeko or whatever his name is. I just find it funny.
Wouldn't it be worse if his name was like Micah?
Micah?
As in... like the guy from Paranormal Activity 1.
I do not know.
Bad movie.
What? Yeah, Pelio was in the same system as Vardos for some reason. I thought that was stupid.
I don't remember what that one is.
Vardos is the city where the main character from Star Wars Battlefront 2 came from.
Oh, the one that gets...
destroyed.
That gets cindered.
Yeah, she becomes a rebel because her home gets blown up, which is like peak right-wing type thing, isn't it? Like, you don't care about a problem until it happens to you.
It could be worse.
I know it could be worse. I'm just saying
she could be like General Hess.
Hess.
Or Hess.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be like Nuva Vindi.
I wish.
Yeah.
Imagine a game where you play as Nuva Vindi, i.e. Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see, like, unironically, I don't think we'll ever see Nuva Vindi again. That's the truth.
That's what my brain says, but my heart says, what if, though?
What if? Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say about no resolution to the bounty hunters that. So we know that Nala Se sent Fennec Shand, and we know that Lama Su sent
Chad Bane.
So yeah, sent Cad Bane, and one other bounty hunter that we have not seen.
Really?
Yeah, they said 2.
Huh.
Because remember, it was a misdirection to make us think that it was Fennec Shand was the other one.
Yeah, unless Lama Su sent them both, but Nala Se gave Fennec more money to change.
I think that's adding more assumptions to what was said in the show.
But then we're left with bounty hunter that's unaccounted for.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's going to be a thing next season. Because the whole thing was meant to be a misdirection to make you think that Fennec Shand was working for Lama Su, but she actually wasn't.
You were making fun of me for thinking that originally.
I was not making fun of you for thinking that.
Well, we can check the tapes and see whether or not that's true.
I can't remember what... No. I was making fun of you for saying that it was that it wasn't the Kaminoans. And technically you were right, because Fennec Shand was not hired by Lama Su. She was hired by Nala Se. Whereas I thought she was hired by Lama Su.
Well, we could go on and on about that. Let's just assume that I'm right.
As always, in Predictor.
As always. In Predictor General.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll see next season. We were discussing how many plot lines they can physically wrap up in this finale. Turns out it was literally none of them.
Yeah, literally. So we don't know where
literally.
We don't know what's going on with the scientists being taken to this planet. We don't know where the clones are going. We have no resolution to the Crosshair plot.
We have no resolution to the Omega plot either. We have no resolution to Sid, Rex,
or Gregor.
Or
the TK units.
Or the bounty hunters, if they're coming back or not.
Probably not.
Maybe Fennec Shand.
And why did bloody what's his name?
Chicken across the road.
Yeah, but why did Saul Guerrero turn up in the first episode? Literally just to be a cameo. That's why. Just
to be a cameo. No more Syndulas either.
Yeah, that was literally just for one episode.
Nothing with not Roxas, Raxus.
Yeah, that was just for one episode too.
Roxas is a Kingdom Hearts character.
God damn it. We're back to Kingdom Hearts. There's a lot of things that sort of were dropped. Like, oh my god, there's people on Twitter, there were a load of people saying, a lot of you are going to look so stupid when it turns out that Roland Durand his plotline is going to be integral to the finale.
I forgot about Roland Durand.
Yeah, everyone. Turns out Danny forgot about Roland Durand.
What's his name? What's his mom's name? Isa?
Something like that.
Isa. That's also a Kingdom Hearts character. They could come back next season.
Yeah,
Who's
I think
to
they
say
could
the
come
Pikes?
back next season, but yeah, no resolution.
The Zygerians, remember when I thought they were going to be important?
Oh yeah, they went.
They could still go to Dathomir next season.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Why did they introduce that bow? Like, we have never seen...
Because female-coded characters have bows, Freddy.
How could I forget?
That's an unwritten law of entertainment.
How could
It's literally all of them.
Yeah.
Katniss, whatever Brave Merida.
The one from Narnia.
Lara Croft. Lucy or Eve. One of them has a dagger and can bring people back to life. Remember that?
No.
Remember when Santa Claus or Father Christmas or whoever gave her a potion that brings people back to life?
Vaguely. Is that how she got Jesus to come back?
No. He just came back because he's Jesus.
How could I forget?
She brought back everyone who died in the final battle with that potion.
Oh. That's a lot of people. Most of them were turned into stone.
Yeah. She de-stoned them.
Whoa, that's what Ronald Reagan wants to do in his war on drugs.
They want to take away our drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs bad, apparently.
Yeah, a lot of weird. I don't. Yeah.
Even the goddamn Nerf line for girls is just bows.
Yeah.
It's like Nerf Rebel or something.
Yeah,
because
literally. Nerf Rebel.
Girls equals rebels equals bows. Why?
They pronounce it Rebel in the adverts.
That's what they do. They nerf.
Whoa. It's Nerf or nothing. The deleted scene from Rogue One you haven't seen. Why did they make the arrow from the energy bow pink or purple instead of yellow?
Because girls.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because, like, the Zygerians, their weapons are typically... Their energy stuff is typically yellow, isn't it?
Yeah. But it is a Night Sister bow, isn't it?
Basically.
Or is it different?
It looks like a Night Sister bow. Night Sister bows are that colour, aren't they?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
since I saw them all massacred by General Grievous.
Wow, that was a classic
I remember
episode.
when they did genocide on Clone Wars
Yep.
on screen?
On-screen genocide. Classic. They probably got away with it because they weren't human.
Yeah. Remember when Marvel went to court to prove that X-Men are not humans so that they could spend less tax money on their action figures?
Oh yeah, which is kind of
Even though
defeats
that's-
the whole point.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, they're just animals.
Yikes. Anything for less money. Yeah, because they weren't technically action
Anything
figures.
for my princess.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the room.
Whoa. Anyway, the tests come back. I definitely have breast cancer. And much like a lot of the plot
doggy.
lines in Bad Batch, it never comes up again.
Do we actually like this show?
I like it.
It's a good show. They are good episodes.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that it's a good show. If that makes any sense.
I think that season 1 of Bad Batch, as a whole season, is weaker than season 1 of Clone Wars and definitely weaker than season 1 of Rebels, in my opinion.
You know what? I would probably agree. As a complete experience, it leaves more to be desired. Even though Clone Wars arguably has a worse finale because it doesn't have a finale.
Yeah, but that's
it
more
has
of
a part 1 of a story that ends in a season 2.
Yeah, it's actually not technically related. It's only related because of Cad Bane.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, with Bad Batch has individually great episodes, and all of them are technically incredible. Like, this one had amazing music, had amazing sound effects and voice acting and just acting, and it looks amazing. But like,
yeah, so moody and dark and gritty.
Yeah, and it definitely looks and sounds and feels better than like season 1 of Clone Wars or season 1 of Rebels. But it doesn't necessarily mean that as a whole it's better. Like, individually, some episodes are better than a lot of Clone Wars episodes or a lot of Rebel season 1 episodes, aren't they? In my opinion. But some aren't. So,
and some uncle.
Whoa. Some bring down the season. Not necessarily, like, Infested on its own wasn't a bad episode, really. It was the worst episode probably of the entire season. But it wasn't bad. But but as part of the entire season, it brought it down. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's like if you had the best slice of bread and put the best slice of ham on it, then the best slice of watermelon, then the best slice of cheese, and a couple of just a dollop of yogurt, and then a little bit of very good oil, and then topped it off with a very good chicken breast, and tried to take a bite out of that.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't taste very good, even though it's a very bad metaphor comprised of very good pieces of food.
I know what you mean, yeah. It's like lots of good all put together, but it's not all meshing together. You don't know what it is.
Not at
it's
all.
not even if it's like a burger or a sandwich or whatever. It's just like, this is food. You know, like, what kind of food is it? Is it an anthology? Is it a cereal? And it's like, this is food.
It's if you tried to eat the entire contents of your fridge in one bite.
Yeah, it's like, man, a lot of it's good, but I don't want it all at once. You gotta put it into a meal. Make Bad Batch into a meal, Dave Filoni. Not a platter.
Yeah, not just groceries.
Bad Batch is not a bag of groceries. It's a meal. It needs to be a meal, Filoni.
He really needs goddamn what's his face, Jon Favreau with him, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe that should be the title of this episode. Bad Batch is like a bag of groceries.
Eating batch like groceries.
Whoa. Should we move on while we're getting heated, should we move on to something good, something bad, and something in the middle?
Ugly. Yeah, we should probably leave big sweeping statements about the whole series for the season recap that we're probably gonna do next week.
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll see.
We can discuss that off air.
Whoa. Let's go on to the light side, the dark side, and the one in the middle, the Bendu.
The Bendu. That being said, Freddy, what is your light side?
Oh my god, my light side actually probably is the moment when that clone trooper reports to Rampart that Topoka City is destroyed. And you can sort of sense that he is sad that they've blown up their city.
Home.
They blew up their home, and he's saying that it's completely destroyed and sinking into the sea. And you can tell that, he wasn't too jazzed about it. He probably thought it was an unepic experience.
He thought that it was completely bogus.
Whoa.
I was trying to come up with an early internet word, but nope. I guess I'm going all the way back to the 80s.
It's unwizard.
It's completely
witch.
The opposite of wizard, yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
That means it's burn-worthy.
Whoa.
That means it's Bergenworth.
Whoa.
Anyway, it was a real good moment you picked, Freddy. It poses more questions also about how much they are person and how much they are just husks.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which we still don't really have a good answer to.
Yeah.
Guess we will not see next season either.
Well, we might see it next season. We don't know yet.
Maybe. Right.
Gonna have to wait a whole year for it.
Well,
but instead of waiting for what your light side is, I'm gonna ask you right now. What is your light side, Luke?
Whoa. My light side this week was that bit when, instead of just continuing to try to move that girder, Omega just decided to shoot it off Crosshair's chest.
Oh yeah,
when he was pinned down and drowning.
Yeah, and you can see Crosshair looking up. He was like,
that was
what?
A 5-head move.
Yeah. He was like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen something like that.
It was pretty cool, though.
Instead of just keep trying to move a thing, just shoot it off.
Yeah. You can't do that with, bullets. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, no.
Surprisingly.
But even in a series where everyone has lasers and lots of people have lightsabers, I don't think this happens all that often.
Yeah, that's surprising. But AZ was actually pretty useful in underwater.
Yeah, he sure was.
Sure
surprisingly. Actually, we saw that he could swim in Clone Wars, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah. They're completely watertight.
Yeah. Fives used him as a sub or something.
Whoa. Fives used him as a big sandwich?
Yep. That's what I meant. A submarine sandwich.
Whoa. Is that why they're called subs?
Like
they
that
look
thing
submarines?
that gets rammed someone's throat in the movie Invisible Maniac.
What?
It's a very bad film about a professor who turns invisible and uses it to get revenge on people and to spy on women.
That sounds creepy. That sounds like Revenge of the Nerds level creepy sometimes.
I don't know much about Revenge of the Nerds, but it sounds horrible too.
Yeah, from what I've heard about Revenge of the Nerds and what I've seen from it, I can't believe it exists.
Many films from the 80s are just trash.
Didn't that didn't that movie when that white guy put on blackface and pretended to be a black man in order to get a scholarship into university, did that come out in the 80s as well?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also a movie recently where a radio host pretends to be a black woman to get a more successful show.
Bruh.
The director also pretended that movie won, what's a film festival? like one of those big-time film festival awards,
Like
but it was
Cannes Film
not even
Festival.
shown there.
I hope that if that was done, it was like framed in a way that like, oh, I'm a piece of shit for doing this. Right? Was it?
I do not know. I do not know.
Because otherwise,
I don't think it was.
then that is like supreme yikes. That's supreme leader yikes.
That's that I like that. That was like 12 less than 12 parsecs a slave kind of stuff.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not letting that concept die.
Yeah, that was such a... Oh, God. If Nicolas Cage releases that film, you know where we got the idea.
Yep. Would it be better or worse than Schindler's Fists? Worse. Yeah, I'm just gonna say
Probably
right
worse,
away.
because I don't think Schindler's Fists has blackface in it.
Probably not. Anyway, speaking of bad things,
Whoa!
tell me something that you hated with as much as you hate the concept of what we were just talking about in this episode.
Well, what my dark side was something I have mentioned, but I kind of need to keep saying, is like how, okay, people are talking to Crosshair, and Crosshair's talking to them, but no one's really talking about the root of the problem that, you know, Crosshair, when he was abandoned by the Bad Batch, the inhibited ship was working then. He felt Crosshair clearly was abandoned by the rest of the Bad Batch, and the rest of the Bad Batch were rescuing, as Star Wars Explained pointed out, they were rescuing clones that they have never even met, but they didn't even try and get Crosshair back. So
Yeah, it really did address the Max Rebo in the room.
They didn't address.
Well, you did.
I did. Well, yeah, but I feel like that should have been
It's-
talked more, because it felt kind of unnatural that they kept tiptoeing out, unlike the Gary Oldman film, they kept tiptoeing around the main issue at hand.
We really are making last week's episode the new Spunkstone, aren't we?
We really are. God damn it.
Yeah, the movie Tiptoes is also something we talked about at length last
Another
week.
terrible film that we were talking about.
Terrible idea. But this one is from like the 2000s, I think.
Yes, it was. Don't know how that was made.
Ah.
That was my dark side, the tiptoeing around the main issue, avoiding the elephant in the room.
I feel like that's also like a side effect of them not knowing if they want this to be a personal thing or an anthology.
Yeah.
So many things like that just got lost.
Yeah.
Not unlike in the show Lost, where they also weren't sure what it was about.
Yeah. Very unfortunate, in my opinion. But, oh well. Talking of unfortunate, though, I've unfortunately got to ask you what your dark side was. So will you please unleash it onto us?
Well, my dark side was... I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I felt quite as deflated as I felt whenever that thing was. It was probably infested, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. My dark side isn't the worst thing. I'll keep saying.
I am very much in two minds of this. My dark side is going to be a bit more general. Like, especially now with an amount of time between us and the finale of Mandalorian Season 2. I think I am now realizing that we haven't had a single series of a Disney, Star Wars show, or even Marvel show for that matter, that has been a complete knock it out of the park. The closest I think we've gotten was Series 7 or 8 or whichever was Clone Wars. And even that had the Ahsoka's walkabout.
Yeah, well, and it also had the Bad Batch arc.
That one was just fine.
I unpopular opinion, Ahsoka's walkabout arc was kind of better than Bad Batch arc, but maybe that's because I had already seen the Bad Batch arc.
I'm gonna say probably.
Yeah.
I think that the Bad Batch arc was a serviceable action adventure, whereas Ahsoka's Walkabout was a little bit of nothing and then some cool stuff.
Didn't need to be 3 episodes long. I thought it didn't need to be 4 episodes long. One of the episodes should have been cut.
Same with the Bad Batch arc, probably.
Yeah.
But still. And my dark side is just going to be that. While I did like all of the series, quite a lot, I am getting a little bit worried that they might lose the goodwill that they have for what they are. And if you've listened to the last 42 episodes...
God damn it.
Well, you literally couldn't have.
Yeah. Because 2 of them are missing.
Yeah, for now. You would realize that Dave Filoni... I don't know how much we've been memeing it at the beginning, but we did talk about Dave Filoni being a golden god, at least.
We did. I think I said it was Dave Filoni, God Emperor Dave Filoni, in our Saw Gerrera episode.
I think you've been saying it ironically this whole time.
Yeah.
Or at least most of it.
Mostly ironically.
I'm not too sure about myself. I do know that at some point fairly early we did say we do have to be careful not to deify him too much.
Yes.
To Davify him too much.
Whoa.
But he's still good. But then again, we do not know how much control he has over this, so we're back by where we started. How good is he really?
Yeah. Well, he didn't... I don't think he wrote this episode, did he?
I doubt that he did.
I'm gonna look it up, because, it says created by Dave Filoni.
I guess that Dave Filoni for this is what George Lucas used to be for Clone Wars.
Yeah. So this one was directed by Saul Ruiz, who directed... he directed... Where is it? Infested.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
That
is interesting considering
lot.
We said there was a parallel with Infested with how this one was.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
And, I mean, this is not to be a dick to Saul Ruiz. We did say that we did like both of them as episodes.
Yes. And the writer was Jennifer Corbett, who wrote Aftermath with Dave Filoni, Battle Scars, Rescue on Ryloth, and Camino Lost.
Well, this episode.
All of those, I think, were good episodes, though.
Yeah. I do wonder where the snag was. I guess it has to be Dave Filoni, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get a grip, man.
Dave Filoni isn't even on the friggin' crew for this episode.
Then don't get a grip, Dave Filoni.
Yeah, he's not... So it says, director, Saul Ruiz, writer, Jennifer Corbett, story editor, Mitch Novets, score, Kevin Kiner. So he wasn't even... Dave Filoni wasn't even a story editor.
Huh. I guess we'll never know who's to blame.
Yeah.
But...
Weird.
I can't not appreciate how much of a super fan he is, though.
Yeah.
I just watched a little interview with Bill Burr, and like, one of the things he did say also is how apparent it is that him and that Dave Filoni and Iron Man director
Jon Favreau,
how it's just like a toy box for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can't blame him for being maybe overly excited and not putting in the best work. If it even is, it is on him. I just hope that we get something that is just good on all aspects.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Dave Filoni at the moment has the same role as George Lucas did in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, his role, not just like his credit. Because George Lucas was involved in Clone Wars, and I do think it's safe to say that the entirety of Clone Wars is George Lucas stuff. I think it's safe to say that. But George Lucas didn't direct any episodes, and he didn't write any episodes, but he was mostly there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I feel like Dave Filoni might be there to say, I want this, this, and this to go down. and I want these characters to be introduced here, and I want this to set up the Ahsoka series. Things like that.
Yeah. Maybe we will know if they release a behind-the-scenes episode for the Bad Batch, which I'm pretty sure they won't.
No. Big sad. Probably because there's lots of crunch time.
Probably.
And when we see the environment, it might be pretty depressing.
Yeah. They could fake it, though.
Whoa.
It's Disney. They like things being glossy.
They'll fake it in the volume. No,
Have you heard...
When they did the Frozen documentary, they didn't sugarcoat it. It was clearly a friggin' disaster.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
For Frozen 2, they did behind the scenes for Frozen 2, and it's clearly like a mess.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think I saw that on Shafrillas, actually.
Huh. Was Frozen 2 like a development hell kind of thing?
Yeah. And the story kept changing.
That explains why people don't like it very much.
Yeah. So I've heard. Apparently it undoes the morals of the first movie.
I feel like we've talked about that on the show as well.
Probably. Yeah, maybe we should move away from negativity at the moment.
Yeah, maybe we should chill out and say something balanced.
Something balanced?
Like a nice balanced meal. Or even more like something in the middle. The Bendu.
Whoa. My one in the middle, the Bendu, is...
Tell us.
Just like, I think it's a pretty cool... thing that in order to get rid of the man-eating giant fish, the Kaminoans had attached like a electrocuting stuff to the tubes, which would be activated when the power's on, and that's what AZ was turning on and using his last power to quickly get online in order to stop them from being eaten. That's a pretty cool world building type thing. Got these man-eating big fish. And once they see people in the tubes, they want to eat them. How do you stop them eating them? Have the things be electrified. That's just interesting.
Yeah. Cool. It reminds me of Jurassic Park a little bit.
Yeah, maybe they're going for that kind of vibe. Yeah. Especially since it sort of looked like a crocodile dinosaur thing.
It was literally just a big whale.
Yeah.
I liked it though. It was It was pretty cool.
I thought that was
looked great.
Yeah, it did. It looked big. It was a big fish.
Or lizard thing.
Lizards can be fish, can they? I don't know.
I don't think so.
What is a fish?
Well, technically, there's no such thing as a fish.
Indeed. I saw that on QI, so it's true.
Yeah. Indeed. It was on TV, then, so it must be true.
Yeah. I read it online. That means it must be true.
It's like that meme. You know what I mean.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln.
No, I meant there was a picture of young girl Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan telling her, don't believe everything you see on TV. And then there was adult Ahsoka with Obi-Wan and Anakin. She was telling them, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
I've not seen that.
I felt it was everywhere, but that might just be my algorithm.
Maybe... The algorithm works in mysterious ways. Always in flux, the memes are.
Indeed. In flux, or in other words, somewhere in the middle, I don't know.
What
is
what flux your means. Flux Spontary, your one in the middle, the
Whoa.
Bendu?
Honestly, I got no idea, man.
Bruh.
Look, we usually don't come prepared, but we usually come with something on the fly. But this week, I'm just gonna say, my one in the middle is go watch Rebels.
Really?
Yeah, I'm locking it in. Go watch Rebels. It's a great show, and it has a good ending.
When we do the spreadsheet of all of our one in the middle, the Bendus, and all of that, there'll just be go watch Rebels. We've got this podcast. As one of them.
I wonder if we're actually ever going to do that.
Oh god, no, it'll take so much effort.
Not necessarily effort, just time.
Yeah, that is also true.
There is always and also true.
Yeah. Pay someone on Fiverr to do it.
I don't wanna. I'll just do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Do it myself.
Who was Thanos talking to?
Himself.
Whoa. Fine, I'll talk to myself.
course he will. He's like a monologue type of guy.
Yeah.
He did it both times when he faced off with the Avengers for his first time.
Yeah. Thanos puts the mono in monologue.
He puts the Bono in monologue.
Oh my god. My favourite part of Avengers Endgame was when Thanos did the Bono-log.
That sounds like a sex thing.
Oh god, you never know. Maybe that was in the original cut.
That's the Snyder cut of Avengers Endgame.
Snyder cut. Oh god. Iron Man says the F word.
Oh, I think I remember what the thing about the Suicide Squad was that I wanted to tell you about.
Whoa. Is it that it's good?
It's that D. Bradley Baker is in it.
Really?
He voices the rats.
Oh, interesting.
Like the Rat Pack, which I don't think is a crew of clones. I think of the Wolf Pack,
No,
probably.
the Rat Pack is like...
That's Dave Sinatra.
Yeah.
No, Frank Sinatra.
I almost said John Travolta.
What is it with me and not remembering anyone's names? First it was David McCavity, then Billy Lloyd. Now it's Dave Sinatra. Who are these people?
This is the Poundland celebrities.
Yeah, this is like the Avenger Man.
Avenger Man.
Ultimate Justice.
Well, I think this has been good. I think Bad Batch on the whole, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this episode, even though it has its problems. But I think it was a good episode. Bit of an Obi-Wan Kenobi ending.
Bit of that. And for some more deep analysis into what this show as a whole was, including the resolutions to our predictions from our predictions episode, tune in next time.
Yeah, be sure to send us your thoughts on by email at Air-Deraan@gmail.com, all one word, or you can tweet us at Air-Deraan, all one word, on Twitter, as I would expect you would tweet on. And if you
or comment and subscribe on our YouTube on Air-Deraan, not all one word. You can figure it all out by yourself.
On space Air-Deraan.
That's the one.
That's
and
the
tell
joke.
your friends.
Yeah, tell your if you want to ruin their life, recommend this podcast.
Subscribe and hit that bell.
Ding.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh my god! Hit the bell and make me live in your mind.
I was just doing another Kadikarus bit because when I got on the call with Freddy, I started it with a Kadikarus thing, so I'm ending it with a Kadikarus thing.
Well, and like Kadikarus, I'm gonna shoot something.
Yeah, we definitely do not deserve to be salvaged.
No, we deserve to be slaughtered.
Indeed.
Or
until next week.
Or salvaged. Remember that?
I do not.
When he would salvage it, or whatever he would call it, with the phaser, and then when it's rising into heaven, he'll shoot it.
Oh, now I remember, but not sure what the game was. I'm going to assume that it was Lego Racers.
Whoa.
And I based that on absolutely nothing.
How blessed.
The game is great, though. Anyway, this podcast isn't. Let's end it right now.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Boy.
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 You may fire when ready.